This is the Y axis. This is the X. This is time. This is results, and I'd like those results to be hard results, like we said before, hard results, new skills, behavior, and a cultural shift. And the cultural shift comes in this sustainability piece. So I've drawn 3 phases here. I've already mentioned them. Pilot, don't chew off too much. Do something, do it well, do it in a prominent place, learn from it, take the learning into rollout. So we're now into rollout, got a rollout phase. And then we're into a sustainability phase, making it stick. And it's a purposeful phase. So let's start on the journey on this graph. Let's start, what should we have green? That's where we are. That's where we are with results. That's where we are with appropriate skills. That's where we are with culture. The pilot will start to exponentially lift after what I nickname the faffing about period. So you've got some uncertainty, it's not clear, but then it starts to take off. And when you're at the takeoff stage, you've already got one eye on the rollout phase. So I'm not talking about us as consultants, I'm talking about the organization that we're working with. We're encouraging them to start looking at this now, because if we use a program, in our case, it's that integrated framework. If we use 1 or 2 of those, we've learned so much about the organization, we can accelerate through rollout by replicating that template. And as well as replicating that template in rollout, all of these things are creating their own little ripples. So those little ripples are then starting to look at other organizational development opportunities inside the business, like, for example, cascading objectives, joining the senior management up with common objectives and things like this, matrix organizations, there are communication processes, all sorts of things. So you've then got a ramping up. So it's reached a successful, this is where we were with that example. I obviously can't name the company, but this is where we were with behavioral safety. And then it went over 18 months or 2 years because it didn't have this third phase, which is a conscious process of propping up on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis, keeping alive the rat in the maze, keeping that process, reminding people of the shape of the maze, reminding them of the tools and techniques. And what we have is we've got 10 sustainability processes that we look for 10 owners, 5 owners, they may own 2, depends on the size of the organization, and they own those processes. And again, it's almost another webinar in itself. But those 10 processes are things like senior management involvement, refresher training, onboarding training, system ownership, KPIs stitched into daily performance for change management and business improvement, those sort of things. System owners, documentation and audits, that's the rat in the maze. Put the audit back and he knows what he's meant to be following. So we consciously put those 10 in there. And as I said, sadly, there's too many examples of where this has been brilliant in achieving 1, 3 or more important agreed measures of success, only to see, and this is called Hawthorne effect, isn't it? I've mentioned it earlier today, to see Hawthorne effect eat the whole thing up, and eventually then you stood here going, what we want is another program. Then you go back to there and up you go again. And change management consultants talk about the S shape. Start here, go up, go down. Start here, go up, go down. And there's a lot of S shape, but actually that's, I started this webinar talking about inefficiencies. Doing that, going back, reigniting things, recreating things, putting new things, that's just inefficient. And that's my point, that we take inefficiency into the design and the implementation of OD programs, and it's our own worst enemy. So that's the key drawing about sustainability.